Hello again, I'm Rodney Reynolds and welcome to another video review. Today I'm looking at the Thermaltake Element S case. This mid-tower ATX case is available in a black color. It's mostly steel except for a few plastic parts such as the top bezel as well as the front. At the top there's a large red 230mm fan to exhaust warm air out of the case. Conveniently located at the top are two USB 2 ports, a microphone jack, headphone jack, external serial ATA port, power button, reset button, power LED, and hard drive activity LED. This case comes with a door which is held into place by magnets. It swings open from left to right and can't be repositioned. The door also has spaces around it to allow the fans to intake cool air when the door is closed. When the door is opened, it reveals three 5¼ drive bays at the top, and each drive bay has a dust filter. The remaining drive bays are occupied by fans. They include one 120mm fan at the bottom, and another optional 120mm fan can also be installed here. There are two removable fan cages, so the fans can be very easily removed for installing a fan or replacing a fan. The front panel can also be very easily removed by pulling on a release lever at the front bottom of the case. This is a really good idea. Just have a closer look here at this lever. The left and right side panels both have ventilation at the back. There is also rubber around the inside perimeter of each side panel, and this is to prevent vibrations. At the back of the case, there's ventilation. They include a motherboard's I/O shield plate and one 140mm exhaust fan, which can be replaced if preferred with a 120mm fan. Note that two optional 60mm fans can be installed if extra ventilation is required, and here are the 7 expansion slots, and one of these expansion slots is ventilated. At the bottom is where a standard ATX power supply gets installed, and there are two punch outs for an external water cooling system's tubes to pass through. There are 3 thumb screws on each side panel, and the left side panel can be secured using an optional lock. They also include a small metal clip that can be mounted in any of these positions. You just slide it in like so, and then you secure it from the inside with the screw. This secures and organizes the keyboard and mouse cables. This case fits standard ATX and micro ATX form factor motherboards. Since it is a mid-tower case, there's not a lot of room to work on the inside, and unfortunately the motherboard tray is not removable. Also, you'll notice that the inside of the case is also black. The motherboard tray has lots of cable management holes for the cables to pass through, and this allows the cables to be hidden, which cuts down on the cable mess inside the case and thus will improve airflow. There are a number of clips to route cables through that are attached to the case. This is very handy because it not only organizes the cables, it also keeps them in place. The motherboard tray also has a large hole to allow access to the heatsinks or water blocks mounting hardware. Since many heatsinks and water blocks require mounting hardware to be installed on the back of the motherboard, this hole means that you won't have to remove the motherboard if you wish to remove or replace the heatsink or water block. This is extremely handy and an enormous time saver. Up to 7 hard drives can be installed in the removable hard drive cage. To install a hard drive, you can leave the hard drive cage in the case or remove it if preferred. Now install 4 included rail screws, 2 on each side of the drive, and note where I have these screws installed. These are installed differently than these because of the way that it goes into the removable drive cage. Once you have the screws on, just carefully slip the drive into the removable hard drive cage. And by the way, if you want to remove the drive, you just press here to release it and pull it out. Note that an optional screw can be installed. Now push the hard drive cage back into the case, securing it with 2 thumb screws. This removable hard drive cage can also be repositioned and installed through the front of the case if preferred. Also note that this case fits 10.5-inch long consumer level video cards. There is also a removable power supply compartment plate at the bottom to organize the power supply cables. This keeps all the power supply cables in one area, which is really good, especially if you don't have a modular power supply. They even include a removable dust filter for the power supply. At the bottom are 4 plastic feet. Soft rubber or silicone would have been preferred because it doesn't scratch the surface and has better anti-vibration properties. Finally, have a listen to the stock cooling. Thermaltake has done a fantastic job of designing this case, right from the outside to the inside. Now the outside is plastic, but it's not your typical cheap, shiny looking plastic. The inside is steel. That does add weight, but it also keeps the case really rigid. I would prefer an aluminum case, but that would really jack the price up. And this is a reasonably priced mid-sized tower case for all the features that it does have. My only personal gripe with this case is it doesn't come with a removable motherboard tray, and that's not a concern for some people. Overall, this is a kick-ass product. Until next time, take care.